Yeah, typical. What's that?
Of his mass of unkempt hair, the two of them looked like any other vagabonds who wanted. Thomas carried his sword, bow and arrow bag, while stinging rain shower. I doubt it. So why are we going? Because he may go there eventually.
Children were in terrible, serious trouble. It was realists who created or noticed Old Testament God. When the denizens of those ancient societies wandered carelessly down the wrong path.
The President of the United States is be emotional about any decision, and that is and they would be advising him, Mr. President, we need a strategy and not just independent actions, but strategy and words matter, and what you're saying is very emotional and it's not going to be helpful to anyone. We're going to put your
New SMS from...
I'm serious. We need a double containment strategy.
Well, the other thing about Syria is, you know, what's the aim in Syria? Is it to defeat ISIS? If it's to defeat ISIS, that creates a vacuum. Who's going to fill the vacuum? You could end up with players you don't want in there. Are you going after Assad, which is regime change, or, you know, what? It is so complicated. There is no strategy. There has to be no coherent American strategy since this new president took over. Nothing.
Retired Major General Dave Fraser never minces words. I couldn't agree more. What is the strategy? You can diagnose Bashar al-Assad as a gas-killing animal and be right. And enforcing and demanding and avoiding and ignoring and punishing. It means you must place your old strategies aside. Human beings, the pathologies of social structure. It's wrong enough to be virtually backwards. The vital process of socialization prevents much harm and fosters much good.
Had gone up to 4.85 stars, a 30% increase, and basically almost at the top of passengers, and the driver said, well, if I want to keep driving, I need to. And of course, Dubai is a country that is not necessarily known for things like democracy, or things like, due process, and, a properly balanced legal system. People are often thrown in jail for no reason at all. So, you, if, for whatever reason, so you could find yourself being pulled over because the data on your license plate puts you in a particular neighborhood that maybe the cop doesn't like that you're there. So, it's one of those good news, bad news stories, I think, used in the right way.
Among those unwilling or unable to succeed in this matter, the delay of gratification. When engaging in sacrifice, our forefathers began to act out what would be considered a proposition if it were stated.
He found it, then winced as the hinges moved. Thomas could still see nothing, but the church had the same sour stench as the empty barrels. "We need some light," he whispered. His eyes slowly became accustomed to the gloom, and he saw the faintest glimmer of light showing from the big eastern window over the altar. There was not even a small flame burning above the sanctuary.
Only we've got to start soon, Villeroy said, in a voice that seemed to rumble from some deep cavern. A message from Seguin Debec. To ask about you. About me? Thomas was even more confused now.
about the Vexil tavern. It's the other direction. I'm going to La Roche-Derrien, he lied. An English garrison. Brother Germain still tried to pull the book away, then yelped as Thomas.
Jesus fucking Christ. Like, what the fuck is all this fucking nonsense?
To bail ship, Villeroy said to him, and Thomas went down into the bilge and scooped the water into buckets until his arms were aching with tiredness. And then he went to the forepeak.
News and weather and breaking news when it happens on News Talk 580 CFRA. News Talk 580 CFRA keeps you up to the minute.
Breaking news, the Toronto police are on the scene right now.
Escaped from him, Thomas said. Charles was going to marry you to one of his men-at-arms. If he finds you here, he'll do that. The birds were filling the trees with song, and the sun was a hint of light in the misted east. Thomas had vanished. His mail coat, his arrow bag, his sword, his helmet, his cloak, his saddle, and his big black bow were all still there. But Thomas and the 3 Flemings were gone. Ivory-handled knife to trim the quilt. Then he put a crucifix on the table, 2 large candles, like those that would grace the altar of a church, 3 pokers,
Jesus
pincers, and a curious instrument that Thomas could not see. What were you thinking to a Jew? To a man of the race that killed our dear Saviour? If the Jews find the Grail, you fool, they will raise the Antichrist. You will suffer for that betrayal. You must suffer. He crossed the room, snatched a poker from the fire, and brought it back to where Thomas huddled against the wall. To a Jew! The Tyborg shouted, and he scored the poker's glowing tip.
That's weird. Right there.
Really? What a We're all moving over because of this and the Ocean Transpo goes right in front.
He tried, but his letters were scratchy and uncontrolled, and in the end, one of Tope's wrote the letter of the blue jupon with its 3 yellow hawks. Yet one evening, coming home from a long day that had yielded only 2 goats, he was grinning when he came to see Tom.
What are you doing?
My enemy has joined Charles.
Country 1011 with Thomas Red. It's your drive home with Ann. Tammy phoned in earlier this hour. Said she saw a flock of geese land in a field in the Forest Rapids area. Good sign of spring.
That's a red light. Huh. Okay, seriously? Tariffs, which are Ontario.
Come on! What are you doing?
I expect that they'll be well served and ready to run tonight as well. But Winnipeg knows they've got to play better. They've got to play better. They like their third period, clearly, so they want that to be their starting point in Game 2 and then work off of that.
And also, Drake, the shots did end up being 40-20. It's a close game. Yeah. Hey, you find a way to win it. There's also part of you think that pretty quickly, because I don't think Minnesota's a good team. They look like a team built for the mid-90s, that Winnipeg could grab a hold of this and make it a real short series.
It could go that way.
What, about 4.5 games? And they only got 3 goals. Now, Vegas only scored 7. There were 10 goals total in that series. Vegas won all 4 games by 1 goal. But they're moving on. The wonder season continues, and it's over for the LA Kings. Yeah, I mean, it's
very confident. Yeah, I like it. He backs up. We're going to hear the clip, right? We'll play the clip. That's pretty solid. Yeah, so you know what? We'll bring you back in after your 4:30 Sports Center update. We'll talk about that and a couple of other NFL stories. We'll take a break. I'll come back, read more of your texts and emails, and continue on a Wednesday edition of The Drive on Sports Radio, TSN 1200. At Cal Tire, they match big box stores on tire prices, and they outmatch them on service.
The Woodruff 417 East. Stop and go from Pinecrest to Innis. 174 eastbound is congested from the split to Montreal Road. Dreaming of Europe, Air Canada Vacations offers you $500 in savings on your next adventure in Europe. Offer ends April 30th. Visit aircanadavacations.com. TSN 1200 weather. Periods of rain tonight. Low drops down to 8. More rain tomorrow, ending in the afternoon, and a mix of sun and cloud.
you.
All right, have a great day. There goes Tom Clements, one of the all-time great quarterbacks and great quarterback coaches, offensive coordinators of the past 20 years in the National Football League. Joining us on, just for today, the Tony Gabriel Pizza Hotline, brought to you by the Bigger, Better Taste of Gabriel Pizza Simmer, is now available online at GabrielPizza.com.
Yeah, and I would love in 1975, you come up after winning a national championship at 73, and not only have you come up and try to figure out the CFL, Conrad Holloway is here. And that was your classic quarterback. As an African-American, they wanted him to play another position. He was a star at Tennessee. They did a 30 and 30 on him in the United States on ESPN. You show up, you're like, talk about a dynamic duo. And I just find last night watching the draft coverage, Ian, even at the collegiate level, they talked about some of the guys and their struggles because of the change in personnel. Guys being drafted in the National Football League, struggling here and there. There's so many things on the checklist, not to mention trying to stay healthy. And think about Troy Aikman when he came into Michael Vick. I just find that transition, and hey, I don't know anyway. You love to see them all do well. But man, that's a tough job to take a hold of.
Parliament should at least do it, and 15 days, one for each of those.
Yeah. Share about the family who's normally identified their kid?
No. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Now you started breaking in the middle. Oh, do they have mine?
Good job blowing that red light, you idiot. Stupid people. Holy shit, man. Filled with idiots today. Just full of them.
Just come out. Just show up. Let's party. 400 people. I know, it's going to be a lot of fun, so we can't wait to see you there. Coming up in the dirt at 8:30.
Place is awful.
I'm in my black suit, black tie, I'm out in the back, doing a strong shot of whiskey, straight out the flash.
Country 94. It is Marianne, and yes, I really don't know what season we're in right now, but...
Because if you go to MyPillow.com right now, you can take advantage of the MyPillow 4-pack offer. That's 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows at half off. Just go to MyPillow.com, use my code 94, and you get 50% off. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special, and enter...
Well, it's hotter than hell outside right now. It's 100 in the shade with the sun beating down. Forecast calling for some more of the same. Well, I can't fix that, but I can fix it.
Yikes. I've already won that one.